Can you believe that it is just 26 days until the New Hampshire primary? So, of course, all the candidates are visiting New Hampshire, talking to the residents, including Nikki Haley. And she had an encounter with one voter in Berlin, New Hampshire yesterday that's making a lot of news today. Watch this.
What was the cause of the United States Civil War?
Well, don't come with an easy question or anything. I mean, I think the cause of the Civil War was basically how government was going to run, the freedoms and what people could and couldn't do. What do you think the cause of the Civil War was? I'm sorry?
I'm not running for president. I wanted to see your viewpoint on the cause of the Civil War.
I mean, I think it always comes down to the role of government and what the rights of the people are.
Thank you. And in the year 2023, it's astonishing to me that you answer that question without mentioning the word slavery.
What do you want me to say about slavery?
No, you've answered my question.
So now Democrats are picking up on this, including President Biden, who posted a tweet saying it was about slavery.
Yeah, you're running for president. You have to see questions like that coming. And I don't think in any way she was trying to lighten the effect of slavery on our country or why we fought a war. I think when you're an intellectual and you read books like Team of Rivals, you read the memoirs and the actual text of our country at that time, it was about slavery and a whole bunch of other things. And I think she was trying to encapsulate that. But on the campaign trail, less in an academic environment, you got to see that coming and you got to be able to answer it better. But I don't think in any way she was trying to say slavery wasn't a big part, if not the cause of the Civil War.
Right. So if the implication is that she wouldn't condemn the evils of slavery, they failed miserably. Yeah. This is a governor in the wake of a massacre of black residents in the AME church in Charleston. Out of that disaster and tragedy, she then had the political courage to drop in one of the most southern of all states the Confederate flag from the Capitol grounds and took immense heat for it. To say that she isn't willing and doesn't have the moral fortitude and political courage to stand and condemn the evils of slavery is embarrassing.
Yeah, that's such a great point.
On the face of it. And yet that didn't stop Caribbean vacationing President Biden from saying it was about slavery. As if you're scoring a point. We don't know, by the way, who asked that question. Was that a plant? Was that a random question?
Well, yeah, I don't know. Is it a Democrat? Is it somebody who's supporting Donald Trump, or a Republican who doesn't like Nikki Haley? It clearly was trying to be a gotcha moment for her to take her out of her normal political conversation. She's going to talk about the economy. She's going to talk about the border to get this question. To me, this read pretty clear that it was that the answer of slavery is so obvious. That's the obvious answer. She was, saying she was talking about big government and other things. Clearly, the answer is slavery. She was trying to give a more educated and philosophical response.
She couldn't have actually handled it better. She's thinking, is this a gotcha question? Are you trying to imply that I won't condemn the evils of slavery, perhaps in her head? Or is she saying, is this about the actual nuances of what the Civil War is fought over, which is about the economics and politics from the state versus federal government level of issues like slavery? And in that moment, I think she handled it quite well, considering and didn't give in to what clearly, as you point out, was a gotcha question.
Yep.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.